All right, what is up, weekly REI Marketing Weekly newsletter subscribers, my subs? Welcome to the first segment of this week's newsletter, which is using custom audiences for running ads. Now, this isn't really specifically into content marketing. You are going to use content marketing in this method that I'm about to tell you about. So you're going to make sure that you use video, make sure that you use a good graphic image or whatever when it comes to running your ads. Now, I'm definitely directing this. I mean, this is an REI newsletter, right, for real estate investors, real estate professionals. So I'm going to direct this specifically towards what I just actually got off the phone with a client earlier this morning that I had suggested this method to him about 7-8 months ago. He actually did it and he got some incredible results. So I'm going to share that with you. Hopefully, buddy, you know what I'm talking about. If you're listening, that you're okay with me sharing. I already talked to you. You're okay with me sharing it. So anyway, so the method that I'm going to be talking about is specifically for custom audiences when running Facebook ads. And this can also go to Instagram ads as well, because Facebook and Instagram are integrated. And when you run a Facebook ad, you can directly target it to Instagram as well with the same audience. So here's the method. It's very simple, very practical. What I want you to go into it with the mindset, the mindset going into actually building this out is making sure that you have a good ad, a good call to action, a very, very, well thought out, something that has great messaging and will attract people to actually engage with the ad. Something interesting, I put it on the last week's newsletter that you guys really need to be thinking about is that 80% of all video consumed on Facebook is consumed without the audio activated. So let me say that one more time. When you're going through Facebook and you're watching videos, 80% of those videos are viewed without the audio even being on. So this is why it's extremely important. Sometimes I even discourage people from using ads, for using videos as ads because of that fact, because people will actually watch the video without the audio even being on. So you have to have something intriguing within the first 4 to 5 seconds in a video. You got to have closed captions, absolutely. So all that fancy music, all that like beautiful talking and all that is going to do you no good if you don't build it out correctly. So I encourage you, explore graphics. You could go on Fiverr, you can go on Upwork and hire somebody to design a really well thought out marketing graphic for you for an ad. So I want to go into to this topic here with that mind frame because it's extremely important, because I don't want you to do this method, you don't get any engagement, and then all of a sudden you're like, Josh, you told me to do this and I didn't see anything. So this is something I have tried as well in my business and previously in marketing departments that I've been in with businesses that did wholesaling and whatnot. And it works. You just have to build it out correctly, because you can throw money directly into the trash can, even though you're directly targeting your audience if it's not built out right. So make sure it's built out right. If you have any questions about it, just reach out to me. So here's the method. So having that mindset going into this, a lot of you use lists, you buy lists from skip tracing companies, you buy lists from distress seller lists, you buy lists from the courthouse or whatever it is, and you get this list of people that have phone names, phone numbers, and email addresses, or possibly even physical addresses, right? And you're going to utilize that in your marketing. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell you to be very careful with this, right? Because you got to make sure that when you're advertising to the people on Facebook here, that you have that list and you can prove that you actually own that list, right? So you can't just steal a list and then all of a sudden market to these people. Like, there's a lot of stipulations that Facebook's gone through with that whole Cambridge Analytica thing. So when you're going through, like, this is not disclaimer here. I am not advising you about anything. This is just a method that I have used and other people have used that work. But when you have a list, you need to make sure that it's a list that either you built yourself or that you purchased for yourself, because you can get in some big trouble if you just like had this list and you just decided to market to people without their consent. So be careful with that. And read Facebook's stipulations if you're even more curious about it. But Josh Culler is not held responsible for this. So you have a list and you're going to upload this to Facebook as a custom audience, and you're going to directly market your ad to that custom audience. So let's say, for instance, for me, I had a client that I've been on a phone call with for the past like 5 to 6 months. Like probably 4 or 5 times. We've talked about, doing some content production for him and whatnot. We've gone back and forth, and it never really like kind of formulated into something that was a deal. So what I ended up doing was taking, in addition, there's a minimum number of custom audience contacts that you can upload to Facebook. So I ended up taking his contact with a bunch of other people that I've been trying to reach and uploading that as a custom audience with an ad and directly advertising to that guy, along with the rest of my list. So I get on a phone with him about 2 weeks ago, and he says, "Man, I am seeing you everywhere on Facebook and Instagram. What are you doing? Like, how did you like?" And I built the messaging directly towards him as well. So he asked, "How did I do it?" And I just basically told him, like, "Here's how I did it." And this is how I did it. I uploaded his custom contact to my Facebook ad, built out the ad and the messaging that was curated towards him. And then voila, he sees me everywhere. I keep retargeting him, so he visits my website. So then I retarget him even more. And it just goes that way. Now, it sounds complicated, but you can make it very easy by just directly advertising to them one time or even hitting them repeatedly. So say, for instance, you have a list of distressed sellers that maybe went through a divorce. You have a list of people that went through divorces, or you have a list of people that inherited a property or whatever, or even, you have a list of people that maybe you're list stacking or whatever, high quality list. You're going to take that list, put it in an Excel sheet so that you have their first name, last name, phone number, email address. This is why collecting data is extremely important, is because you can use it. Data is powerful. You can use it in marketing. So you're going to use it with their phone number, their email address, in the Excel sheet with their name, upload that to Facebook. Just Google uploading Facebook custom audience, and there'll be all kinds of tutorials that'll show you how to do that pretty easily. And then you build out your ad, and it's pretty simple. And then you run the ad, and I would consider doing a lot of testing, right? So you may not get immediate results. That might not be something that you see right away. But that's marketing, right? When you send out 1,000 postcards, more times than not, your conversion rate's like 1%, 2%. So you're not going to see incredible results, but it's marketing. That's how it works. So this is just another method that not a lot of people are utilizing. And like I mentioned earlier, I got off the phone with a buddy of mine who I told him to do this 7-8 months ago. And I said, "Hey, I don't know really anybody that's doing this, but this is an idea that I have that maybe you should try." He tried it, and he's gotten a lot of traction with it. So he actually sends a custom audience to Facebook from his distressed sellers list, and then voila, he runs an ad against them. They see it repeatedly. Instead of picking up a yellow postcard that's in the stack of 30 that they have on their counter, they get an ad to social media multiple times. So that's just an idea that I would utilize. So most people aren't going to do this. So if you are the one lucky person that ends up doing this, reach out to me and let me know. I'd be interested to see what your results are, because this is something that's proven, and a lot of people do this. They'll target directly to a list that they have. And that's why it's good to collect emails, like I talked about last week with lead hooks. So make sure you try it out. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you have any results, anything you want to share with me. Again, disclaimer, make sure that list, you can prove that that's your list when you're uploading it to Facebook, because there's people that have been caught, and I'm not going to be held responsible. So that's it. Make sure you guys check out the rest of the newsletter. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool content. Interviewed Dave Payerchin from Ohio, great turnkey provider that is talking about using Google My Business to utilize and get some leads. So check it out and reach out to me, Josh at Color Media, if you have any questions.